Hi, I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Carol Mitchell, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Shelley Star and Alan Xtra from the band Shelley Star and the Galaxy. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for joining us. So before we talk about your band, please tell the viewers a little about your backgrounds and who each of you are.
I'm Shelley Star, pronouns she, her. I'm a pop singer, musician, performer living in the DC area. I was born in Lemoore, California. I grew up in Florida and moved to the DC area in around 2005.
And I'm Alan Xtra. I am pronouns they, them. I went to Ithaca College for musical theater. Don't ask me if I graduated. And I am Shelley's producer.
We're so happy to have you here with us, and we'd love to dive into a little bit about your music. So, how would you describe your music and live performances, and what are some of your sources of inspiration?
So I always tell people when they ask what type of music do you do, I always say we're a mixture of Lady Gaga and ABBA. I've always been a huge Lady Gaga fan ever since I was young, and I've always imagined myself one day having a performance persona like she has. But I always loved the warm sound of the 70s and harmonies. Me and my sisters had a band growing up, and we always would play with harmonies when my mom would drive us to our dance lessons and stuff in the car, and we would be singing. So I always loved the sound of that. So yeah, and it's Lady Gaga plus ABBA meets the persona of Shelley Star, which is an alien from the planet Glam, who's crash landed on Earth to bring the people music, dance, and glamour.
I will say also, we draw a lot from musical theater.
Yes, absolutely. You can't tell by our costumes.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, but how did the two of you meet, and who are the members of the Galaxy?
So we met at Alan runs an awesome drag show called The Palace in Northern Virginia, going strong since 2020.
2 years, coming up on 3.
Very, very awesome drag show. And my friend invited me to go because her friend was performing in one of their cabarets. I went. Alan was performing their incredible, original music set. And I was like, ooh, who is that person? I want to work with that person. And so flooded the DMs. Hey, do you want to work together? And we've been making music magic ever since.
Yeah, now we're writing partners. It's
really
kind of magical.
Yeah, definitely kismet for sure.
Tell us.
And then the other sorry.
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
And the other members of the band kind of came along one after the other. I was out with some friends, and I mentioned that we were looking to put a live band together after we had recorded a few songs together. And I was mentioning that I need a bassist for the band, and then my friend of a friend was available, Matt Branner. So we brought him over to the team, and then Alan knew Travis Braunfeld from the local Nova music scene, brought him on to be a session musician for our first track, I Love Me in California. He's played live shows with us since then. And then we've been lucky to work with a few guitarists, Adam Morris, who plays with the band Lights Out by 8, along with some other original projects. We've worked with Shane Hess, who we met at Battle of the Bands last summer when we competed. And then we have also most recently worked with James Adelsberger, aka James Rocket, who is incredible.
And of course, Asher.
And Asher, of course, Asher, our original guitarist, Asher now, who's in an incredible band called Melemon. You can check them out on Spotify as well.
Really
and then my dancers.
Oh, the dancers. You can't forget the dancers.
I grew up in dance. I'm currently a dance teacher as well. And my 2 dancers, Hannah, Mariko, and Natasha, is also in there as well. My 3 dancers are my former students, alumni. And they've been with us since the beginning as well, since last summer.
That's pretty cool. I want to circle back because you have so many interesting artists that you perform with. Tell us what your live performances are like. It looks like there's a lot of fun and spectacle, and I'd love to hear more about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I've always wanted to put on an unforgettable performance for people where, even if the music wasn't your thing, you're not going to forget that we had glowing wings and bubbles and astronaut helmets. Like after you leave, you're not gonna forget it. I mean, the goal is for you to love the music as well, but I always love, you know, how all the pop divas, they're not just giving you the music, they're giving you the whole fantasy, which ties back to drag as well. It's you're putting on a character and you're bringing that character to the people, and you experiencing your fantasy and what the themes are and what the work should look like helps people feel freer in the audience to express themselves as well. So it's like, if you can see in this picture, some of my students from my ballet school that I teach at, they come in their little alien like head set, you know, their costumes and stuff. They look so cute with their glitter and everything. It's like they feel free to express themselves because we're really expressing ourselves up there, right? Like, so that's what makes it really special to me.
Oh, I think it's also important to note Shelley does all her own choreo for these shows.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do. With dancers too. We work together on it.
These photos are amazing, and I'm sure they don't do justice to just how cool the performances are. But
Thank you.
we're happy to have these photos. I think they look very magical.
Thank you. Shout out Harper Atlas, our photographer, for these.
Cool. Cool. You released your album in February 2024. Tell us about that experience and what the response has been to the album.
Sure. Yeah, we did. We released our debut album, Shelley Star in the Galaxy, February 4th, 2024, 2/4/24. And this is my first full-length album I've ever put out, which was really exciting. And it was a concept album, start to finish. It's Shelley, so the first song is Crash Landing. Shelley Star crash lands on Earth. There's a whole intro track. And then we have our song Battery Baby, which is basically about not letting anyone take your power. It's a dance track produced with Alan. Of course, all these have been produced with Alan, and Tungsten Lungs, our other producer who lives in New York. Then it's I Love Me in California, which is a very like upbeat, sunny, fun in the sun song that I got the idea for hanging out with my sisters in LA where my sister lives, which brings us to Sister Song, which I wrote about my sisters. That song came to me after a trip to LA to see my sisters as well, and it was the first song I had written in like 15 years. I was just feeling really inspired, and I wrote that song, and then sort of a lot of things fell into place, and I met Alan, and the rest of it kind of came from that. But that was the song that kind of brought me out of my, you know, decade and a half long writer's block, basically. And then the rest are just songs that kind of feed into the whole fantasy of we're aliens, we're cute, we have glamorous outfits, we write catchy pop songs that you can dance to that tell a story, because we're storytellers, you know.
This was also my first album having produced for another artist. I had 2 albums out with my own band, singles. But when Shelley approached me, I was like, who the heck is this? And why does she want to work with me? Well, me, you know?
So
But
amazing.
it turned out to be truly a match made in heaven. The recording process was amazing. We work remotely a lot of the time with my bandmate Tungsten Lungs. They live up in New York, so I'm on Zoom. So that's one fun fact about this album. With the exception of our recording sessions in person, this album was mostly produced from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. on Zoom.
Yeah, those vampire hours. Born from the night.
Yeah, so that's all sounds really wonderful, you know, that everything's kind of coming together with the band members and the band. And so I'm interested in what are some of your long-term goals and ambitions for the band?
So long term, you know, we just want to be able to bring this music out to as many people as possible. We feel like we've made an incredible product. We're super, super proud of it. We're playing a few shows this summer in the DC area. Our next show coming up is June 30th at Jam in Java. And we'd also really, really love to tour. That's kind of like a long-term goal of ours, is to tour, you know, along the East Coast, and then who knows? I mean, we wouldn't say no to touring the world with a giant
What were we saying
production.
earlier? First stop Baltimore, second stop the world.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Baltimore, Richmond, then, you know, who knows?
We were thinking about maybe playing some beach shows this summer.
Yeah, that would be fun. We can pretend it's for work, but then just lie out on the beach most of the time.
That's always a good combo. So you mentioned a show that's upcoming. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we got a message from the band Argo and the Violet Queens. Check them out on Instagram. They're super cool. And they asked us if we'd be interested in doing a show with them. And we were like, yeah, we want to play more shows this summer. Absolutely. Who else can we get? And then they had mentioned the Baltimore artist Empress and the Gems, who I'm really excited to work with. She's like kind of like folky pop. So yeah, we're gonna split the bill with those guys, and it's gonna be a great show. We sadly won't have the dancers at that show, but it means that Alan can finally be in the light and our guitarist can finally have some room, which is gonna be fun.
We have a joke that I'm back in the shadows because we played a bunch of shows at Jam and Java. It's a really great local venue, but
Yeah.
their stage lighting ends about right here, and
Yeah.
the dancers are in front, so I'm always back in the shadows behind my keyboards.
It's a pretty shallow stage. If you check the pictures, you can barely see poor
I know,
Alan.
it's
I'm always
great.
like, where's Alan?
Um,
But yeah, so now everyone will be in the light at this show. So that'll be cool. We'll miss the dancers though.
we will also have, of course, our merchandise available.
Yes.
Our lovely CDs, which we print ourselves. We are fiercely DIY.
Yes, we are.
Not that we wouldn't appreciate some help every now and again. So, you know,
We're always
to
happy
all
to
the
work with
agents
people.
watching, hey, how are you?
Yeah, exactly. We're always looking for sponsors as well.
Yeah, sponsors.
And we have stickers designed by the real kid Tommy, incredible, our Planet Glam design, and t-shirts with the same design that my sister helped me block print. They're all handmade as well.
Okay, that's great. So can you do two things for me? One is to remind viewers of the date of that event at Jam and Java and anything else that you have going on in the summer. And then please tell us how they can learn more about you, how listeners can listen to your music and find out what else is upcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next show is Sunday, June 30th at Jam and Java. Doors are at 7 p.m. I believe the show starts at 8 p.m. You can buy tickets on their website at jamandjava.com. And you can find us everywhere. You can find us on Instagram at Shelley Star Official. That's SHELLEY Star Official. YouTube, just search YouTube/Shelley Star. Facebook/Shelley Star Music, and then our Linktree, which has everything. You can find like past concert videos, you can find our Patreon and all sorts of stuff on our Linktree, which is just Linktree/Shelley Star and the Galaxy. And of course, our website, ShelleyStarandthegalaxy.com.
Amazing. Viewers, please look in the description below for links. Shelley, Alan, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Of course, thank you so much for having us. This was so cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
And viewers, thank you for watching.